Hello. So I found a tutorial on YouTube on how to run Mac OS on a virtual machine on Windows. I am on Windows 10 here, and what you basically did was to download a pre-made virtual machine, and you did some kind of settings and stuff, and of course you also installed the VMware Workstation Player. And I put the links in the video description to the tutorial video and also two download links, because the download link in the tutorial video doesn't really work anymore. So try the download links in my video description, see if they work. It's I put two there because they are the same file, but the second one is my own on my own Google Drive. But yeah, and the Mac version here, virtual player, it's the El Capitan 10.11, and I actually tried to update this to like 10.11.6, but it doesn't work. And I'll show you when I start. And people say that you should be able to update this thing, but I don't get it to work. And you should be able to update to Sierra as well, but I haven't tried that. But since I failed to update this one, I guess it doesn't work. I didn't really change that much here. This is default settings. I thought the hard drive was a little bit small, so I tried to expand it, but no new partitions or whatever showed up on the Mac OS, so I guess I'll just run with it. But otherwise, you just start it, and I'm running this virtual machine on an SSD actually, so it's a little bit faster to boot up, even though it takes quite some time to boot it up anyway. But if you have it on a mechanical drive, it will take like forever to load, stuff like that. So I don't have any mechanical drives in my computer anyway, so they are all SSDs, because I want to have some speed for once. I'm so fed up with mechanical hard drives. I only use them as backup drives, backup files to them. That's it. Okay, so here we should go and just log in. And right now I'm just going to run this as well in full screen. You can see here back here is the regular Windows, and I'm going to run it, click this button here, just full screen. Now you see the dock here as well. And yeah, and if I go here about this Mac, see it's El Capitan version 10.11. And when I actually first booted this up, the dock was really big. So I just went to the dock here, and it was like this big or something. But I just reduced it a little bit. And I haven't really installed anything much on it. I just installed the Google Chrome, the web browser, and also Dropbox. But otherwise, it works pretty good. OS drive here. Oh, it's actually normally you can't go over there. Okay, that works. But anyway, it is Mac OS, And I have been using a Linux, or trying Linux, Ubuntu especially, and it looks very similar. And I also tried the GNOME desktop on Linux, and that is basically a ripoff of the Mac OS. The buttons and everything almost look the same. So people, Mac fanboys or Apple fanboys, complain on Samsung for copying their stuff. Also Android for copying stuff. But if you want to complain about a ripoff copying stuff, you should actually look at Linux, because Linux looks a lot like the Mac OS. So yeah, especially the GNOME desktop, and there's a new distribution that looks a lot, I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, yeah. Otherwise, you can see the applications here that you get. The things that I'm not getting to work is iCloud and messages. I guess it has to do with this virtual machine pre-made. When I tried to log into iCloud, it said something about account limit reached or something. I have an Apple ID, so it should work. But and the only thing I noticed as well, messages doesn't work because I guess you need iCloud or whatever. And for example, when I start QuickTime here, I don't see anything. I just see that it started, but okay. But anyway, it seems to be working fine. Also Google Chrome, it just works nice. Also works really well. And the only thing that I think is kind of funny with the Mac OS, when you actually press the red button here, the close, it doesn't actually quit the software. You see it has the dot here. So you need to right click on it and quit. And I don't know, the Windows key, it doesn't do anything, it seems to be. So if you want to search, you have to click on it. Disk utility. And this is when I tried to expand the hard drive, I went to this, you see it's a VMware virtual machine. Went to partition, and there weren't any new partitions here, so I couldn't expand this. Cancel. But one kind of funny thing that I kind of like is the animation. When you minimize, whoop, and you get it back. I kind of like that effect. Yeah, but anyway, there's nothing I really have done here. I tried to get the downloads, Dropbox and Google Chrome, and also I also tried to download the update for El Capitan to 10.11.6, and when I tried to run this, I got this. You'll see here. I agree, and I get this. Just says El Capitan after can't be installed on this disk. Volume do not meet requirements for this update. So I don't know if you can update to Sierra or whatever, but yeah, I guess not. So let's eject that. Otherwise, iCloud Drive, I didn't manage to work or log in at least. But otherwise, kind of fun to play around with. So it will be kind of fun to test it out. Otherwise, it works pretty well. And the only thing I was testing out the dock, minimizing it, change the size. Wow, that's big. That's what she said. Yeah, so you can actually run the Mac OS on a virtual machine on Windows. So yeah, a video about that. See you later.